All right, Shane, let's kick it on down to the other Columbia in the East, South Carolina, where, again, we've got another very interesting game here. This kind of reminds me a little bit of the Tennessee-Pitt matchup. Of course, South Carolina's on the road in this one at East Carolina. And you talk about the spread. So many Gamecocks just floored, and I think they probably should be, but they're floored that the Pirates favored at home by, and it's not by like a 1 or 2. I think it's up to 4 at this point. And I know, these coaches like to pretend they don't see the spread or they don't react to it or anything like that. But I think this is the perfect opportunity for Shane Beamer to, hell, I'd put it on every board in there and say, what in the hell, boys? We're SEC, and they've got us underdogs to East freaking Carolina. Any sense, do you think that'll motivate South Carolina to show, East Carolina what's up?
Yeah, not just the players, but the fans. Yeah, I think that's the big one, man. Where's this game? Is this game going to be held at East Carolina?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay. That's the only thing I was going to say, but I wouldn't be surprised if half the stadium isn't guarded. These fans, these players, they are excited coming off this first victory. This was a big win for them, man, and I think they build off that and to come out and have East Carolina favored, man, that's just a slap in the face. And I'm telling you right now, you compare these rosters, even though South Carolina is banged up at the moment, it's not even close. So I think they use this as fuel all week. If I know Beamer comes out and he's going to say all the right things, but I guarantee, similar to Eli, when them doors are shut, he's letting them know that the Pirates are favored. Good God, get that out of here. You know what I'm saying? The water boy could be the quarterback. They're going to win this thing, Mike.
Well, speaking of that quarterback position, Shane Beamer did meet with the media here on Tuesday and gave a little update on Luke Doty. He says Kevin Harris is going to play in this matchup. Ooh. He was asked about the workload for his star running back. So let's kick it over to Shane Beamer.
Shane, I know, obviously, like Mike said, I know we're not getting into the starters, but when you look at Luke and his progression, what is it that you need to see from him, just period, to see that he's full go, ready to go play a game, maybe in the next 3 days or however long it takes? What are the things that you look for to see that he's, good to run out there on a Saturday?
For me, it's can he run out there? I mean, Luke can throw the football, don't get me wrong, but Luke's a weapon with his feet as well. And if a guy's, East Carolina, you guys are going to see on Saturday, they can fly on defense. One thing they can do is they can run. And we don't need anybody out there that can't get themselves out of trouble and run around and move, for one. And then two, I think just the tempo, the crispness that you need to be at that position. He practiced today. He did more today than he has in the past, but there's a difference in being out there and throwing routes to the receivers without a defense and going out there and doing it against 11 guys in front of 50,000 on Saturday. So it's just the timing, all that stuff. I've got to be able to see that he can operate at a high level, which I have no doubt, he'll be able to when he's ready, and get himself out of trouble and run when he's ready as well. But, he was out there in football, uniform today and wasn't wearing the boot, obviously. He was out there. And like I think he just told you guys, he fully expects to be 100% on Saturday, and we feel the same way.
Shane, do you guys have a plan to manage Kevin's workload on Saturday?
Yeah, good question. We haven't talked about it. It's actually on my, as soon as I walk out of here and I walk in there with the offensive staff, it's on my to-do list, one of the things that we need to discuss in that meeting, because we first of all, we haven't been told any kind of limit on his workload, first of all, so there's not an issue on how many plays he could play. He could play 70 plays if we needed him to. Now he's got to be in cardio shape and all that, which I have no doubt that he will be. But part of the thing that we want to talk about is certainly, how we're going to handle these running backs and what we're thinking, rep-wise and rotation-wise as we go throughout the week. Rashad Amos was out last week and has been battling a little bit of a hamstring and wasn't 100%. Rashad's back if we needed him. So, I feel like we got the four that the three that played last week, plus now Kevin coming back, and then potentially Rashad as well. And a lot of it, like I told y'all a lot before, is personnel specific and play specific. Who's in the game? So they'll all have roles on Saturday, but we need to make sure that we're kind of honed in on how we're repping those guys and rotating those guys through.
All right, Shane. So, I don't know what to read into all this. Maybe a little gamesmanship here by Shane Beamer, but, it does favor the Gamecocks again that East Carolina has no idea whether Luke Doty's going to see the field. For what it's worth, on the depth chart they released, he's listed as, for the first time this season, he's on the depth chart. He's listed as a co-starter along with Zeb Nolan, who played so well in the opener. So, hey, like I said, maybe some gamesmanship, making East Carolina prepare for all circumstances here. But I just found that to be kind of interesting. And again, I think based on what we saw from Zeb Nolan, I don't know you rush Luke Doty out here, but then again, this is such a critical game, I think, for the Gamecocks. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, if Beamer can get these boys to a bowl, that's a win, Mike. And you do that by getting 6 games. And you do that by beating teams like East Carolina. So, yeah, this is a big one. I know it sounds crazy, but you'd almost rather them sit some of these guys in a Georgia game than you would one of these bubble teams that they're supposed to win or 50-50. I'm playing devil's advocate here. I think it's huge news that these guys haven't been ruled out. So I'm not ruling them out either, Mike, because, man, roster spots are valuable. You can't just – when you put somebody out there, man, you're taking away from something else. So don't be surprised if Kevin gets a heavy I think Doty's more of a Trojan horse, if you will, but I'm expecting a hell of a game from Kevin, aren't you?
Well –
come on, Mike. Yeah. I feel it. Don't you feel it?
I like what you're saying there, but I would almost – we've talked about it before. I'd almost save Kevin Harris for Georgia because you're going to need him. But I 100% agree with what you said about this, being one of those games that you need to get to a bowl game because, all the momentum they've got there in Columbia, if they lose to East Carolina, it's not going to kill it all, but it'll really, really put a dent in it. You know what I mean? Whereas if you whoop up on East Carolina, it doesn't matter what happens in Georgia. I don't think that anyone's going to hold it against Shane Beamer. But if you lose that East Carolina, I don't know. It's a perception hit because South Carolina should never lose to East Carolina. And I'm not saying that if it happens, it's on Shane Beamer because he inherited the situation he's got. But there's a lot to lose and not as much to gain this week. If I'm a Gamecock, I feel like.
Dude, and not to mention Beamer, if he can recruit the Carolinas, you know what I'm saying? They'll be okay. So you do that by beating the teams of the Carolinas. Here you got Clemson lost one. Let's the Pirates lose another one. Let's let South Carolina be the team people are talking about, the Carolinas. You do that by beating these guys.
Yeah, a minor subplot. I don't know if this has any motivation or not, but I did hear a couple years ago Beamer interviewed for East Carolina head coaching job, and he didn't get it. So he wants this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, if you want to go any deeper, Kevin Harris. No, I'm just kidding. I was going to make something up. He hates swimming pools and pirates. This recurring nightmare as a young kid. So don't be surprised if Kevin Harris doesn't have 200 yards against these guys.